we shall take a look at two programs which are going to be solved using the while loop in this particular session. In the first program, we are going to calculate the compound interest given the principal, rate of interest, and the number of years that particular amount is going to be compounded for. We all know the formula of compound interest is amount is equal to principal into 1 plus r upon 100 raised to the time. And finally, compound interest is going to be equal to the principal, whatever is the final amount minus the principal. We'll take a look at the code and it's going to be really simple. So first, let's try to understand what is compound interest. Suppose I keep 100 rupees for 2 years. Let us say the interest is 10%. After the end of 1 year, it will be 110 rupees. Now, in simple interest, I'm only going to add interest to the principal. But in compound interest, I'm going to take the new value, which is 110, and calculate 10% of 110. 10% of 110 now is going to be 121 rupees at the end of the second year. This is what you really mean by a compound interest. So we will solve this particular problem using data or the name of the variables in columns, and you shall be able to easily understand what is happening. So let us say my principal amount is just 100 rupees. All right. Net amount is nothing. I don't know at this point what is the net amount. So the variables I have is for the principal amount. Net amount is going to be the compound interest plus the principal amount. Rate of interest is this 10%, 5%, whatever it is. And compound interest is what is the interest compounded. All right. So we will take two variables. One is the time and one is the year. First, what I am going to do here is I am going to ask the user to enter the principal amount, rate of interest, and the time. So let us say he enters the principal amount as 100, rate of interest as 10%, and let us say he wants it to keep it for 2 years. Now, I am going to use a variable called year because I want to start from year 1, calculate the interest. Then I want to go to year 2 and compound that principal plus interest to get the new value. And here I have initially net amount is equal to principal amount. So this initially both are the same. Later on this net amount is going to be more because the interest is going to be added at the end of each year. Now the condition is like this. As long as year is less than or equal to time, what is the value of year? Year is 1. As long as 1 is less than or equal to 2, I am going to do the following step. I am going to say net amount is net amount multiplied by 1 plus rate upon 100. Rate is 10. 10 upon 100 is 0.01. So 1 plus 0.01 is equal to 1.01. So net amount now is going to be equal to 100 into whatever is this value. It is going to be equal to 110 because I am multiplying it with 1.1. Okay. 10 upon 100 is, you can think of it as 1 upon 10. 1 upon 10 is equal to 0.1. 1 plus 0.1 is equal to 1.01. So 100 into 1.01, okay, 1.1, sorry, not 1.01, 100 plus 1.1 is equal to 110. So this is the new value of the net amount. Now I need to increase the year by 1 because for 1 year I have calculated the net amount is 110. So now year becomes 2. 2 is still less than 2, no, but it is equal to 2, so we are still okay. Now net amount is equal to 110 multiplied by 1 plus 10 upon 100, which is again 1 plus 0.1, which becomes 1.1. It becomes 1.1 like this, 1.1. Now net amount is 110. 110 into 1.1 is going to be equal to 121. So the new net amount is 121. Year now becomes equal to 3. When I come back here, is 3 less than or equal to 2? It is false. So this loop body execution is completed. I am going to come out of the loop. Now What is the compound interest? Compound interest is this net amount minus principal amount, that is 121 minus 100. So compound interest is now equal to 21 rupees. Okay, 21 rupees. Now I'm going to simply print the result. Compound interest is CI. It is going to print 21. Now the net amount happens to be 121. So I have calculated the compound interest and the net amount, and I'm going to do a return 0 and alt. So what you have to do is take it for 500 rupees or 1000. Take the principal as 500, rate of interest as maybe 10%. It's easy to calculate. Time as 3 years, and run through this loop. You will get a perfect understanding of the problem. Why I am doing year equal to 1 is for every year the interest is calculated on the net amount. That's why I am doing this particular loop. In the first year I got 110 after adding 10% interest. Now next time the net amount became 110. To this I am calculating 10% interest again, so it became 121. So this process is repeated as long as for the number of years. This is the principal amount, this is the rate of interest, which is 10%, time is number of years you are going to process. Be sure you initialize year to 1, and net amount should be assigned to principal amount. If you fail to do these two steps, you are not going to get the correct result. Now we shall take a look at another problem. Let me try to help you understand you before we jump up into solving that problem. Let's say I have a number 9 and I have one more number called 16. What this program is expecting me to do is to check whether a given number is a number to the power of 2. 2 raised to 0 is 1, 2 raised to 2 is 4, 2 raised to 3 is 8, 2 raised to 4 is 16. So this particular number is to the power of 2, whereas 9 is not to the power of 2. So this number, it should say 9 does not belong to the power of 2. Now how do I do it? Quite simple. I can use a loop. I'll take 9, I'll divide it by 2. If the remainder happens to be 1, that means straight away I can say it does not, the number 9 does not belong to the power of 2. If I take 16, I divide it by 2. The remainder is 0. Now again I take the number, I make it half, it becomes 8. I divide 8 by 2, the remainder is 0. Now 8 is my new number. I divide 8 by 2, it becomes 4. If I divide 4 by 2, the remainder is still 0. Now if I divide 4 by 2, it becomes 2. So I keep continuing this process as long as this original number happens to be greater than 2. So you will understand this once we run through the logic. Okay, let's take a look here. I have 3 variables. You will know the purpose of the flag once we do the testing. This is your number. The number can be any number. Let's take the number 10 and let's take the number 32. So let's say the first number is 10. Now what I am doing here is I am taking variables called as temp and flag. Okay, we'll understand the purpose of these fellows very soon. I'm going to make flag 1, temp is equal to 10. We are processing this first number. The reason I am copying the number to temp is I want to maintain a copy of the original number in temp, because as I am dividing this number, the original number is going to be lost. So at the final step, when I want to show which number I processed initially, I am going to store it in temp. Now what did I tell you? How long should we continue this process? As long as the value of number is greater than 2. Now let's try to run through a bit of logic. Okay, so initially our number is 10. 10 is greater than 2, the condition is true. 10 mod 2, the remainder is 0. Okay, so this condition is false, it will not go into this, it will come here. Now number from 10 ends up becoming 5 because I am dividing it by 2. So division gives you quotient, this gives you remainder. Now is 5 greater than 2? It is true. 5 mod 2, the remainder is 1. Now this particular becomes 0 and I break. Break means I come out of this particular loop. Break means I jump out of the loop based on the condition. Once I come out, I am looking at the value of flag. Since I made flag 0, this condition is false. It is going to say number 10 is not to the power of 2. Let's take one more example to get better clarity. Now let's say I'm taking a number 32. Temp is now going to be 32. Flag is going to be 1, not a problem. Is 32 greater than 2? Absolutely. What I am going to do? 32 divided by 2, the remainder is 0. So I come here. This number, okay, let me take number here. I should take this here. Number is 32. 32 divided by 2, it becomes 16. 16 is greater than 2, it is true. 16 mod 2, the remainder is 0. So this condition is false. I come here. Number now ends up becoming 8. 8 is greater than 2 is still true. 8 divided by 2, the remainder is 0. So this condition is false. I'm going to come here. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 is greater than 2 is true. 4 mod 2, remainder is 0. So this condition is false. I'm going to come here. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Alright, 4 divided by 2 is 2. Then what happens now? 2 is greater than 2. The condition is false. Then I'm going to come here. Flag has still become 1. If flag 1 is not equal to 0, this condition is true. So it will say 32 is a power of 2. So this particular step you should keep repeating. This else is not to be here. This division keeps happening whether this if executes or not. So this particular process keeps on repeating till you find out whether a number belongs to power of 2. So what I would suggest is take different numbers, draw a table, run through the logic. That is the only way you're going to understand logic. Do not try to mug up. It is really simple. As long as you understand it, logic you can never forget once you get the concept.